G'day everybody, it's Max, and welcome back to the Dyson Sphere Program, the 12 Colonies, that's right. And today is about Green Science Day. It's all about getting that green science ramped up and running. So, let's get to it, and then let's talk about the future. Because obviously, once we have the green science up and running, that only leaves white science. And we don't really have a program in place here to make antimatter. So we want to focus on that and where we're going in the future. But green science is first. Yipper, that's right. Looks like we have a bunch of new stuff to play with, and so to make that happen, we have to start working our way back. Of course, first things first, you need deuterium. Yay! Deuterium casinos. We like deuterium casinos. And so this little setup for now is basically just doing the deuterium conversion. Now, I have a big planet full of deuterium sitting right behind me here. Where is it? It's right there. Look at that. See? Yeah, you can get out of that for a second. Like, it's right here behind us. There it is. Of course, we have this big gas giant full of it, but at the same time, we have a lot of hydrogen that we have to use up to keep things flowing in a balance here on the planet. And so, of course, we'll convert this and make it happen. And so we've done that. So, of course, for green science, you need a couple of different things. You need the wonderful little green pills, and you need quantum chips. Now, of course, these green pills, of course, they need the green people eaters and diamonds. Well, diamonds we've been making for such a long time. Well, I shouldn't say such a long time. It's probably been a couple of videos or 3 videos since we've been making those. But the green people eaters, of course, need the deuterium with iron plate, and the purple people eaters, which, of course, allows us to get the green ones. And we like that. Okay. So we've got these fired up here in these machines, and, of course, they are now giving us the green people eaters. And the purple people eaters, where are they currently hanging out at? They're hiding somewhere. I know they are. Let's see. Where are they hiding? They're very sneaky. There they are. Look at that. So, of course, the purple people eaters, their requirements are, of course, turbine motors, copper, and graphene. And, of course, now the graphene is coming from down below, which isn't really too much of a problem. And, of course, the turbo motors, or turbine motors, of course, are coming in with our rings and our motors. And, of course, we have a motor set up taking care of that. There, of course, is now making of those chips. And, of course, then we ship them chips up here to then become part of the green science. But before we can do that, we have to make these, because these are not getting made because we do not have these turned on. So we want to make sure we start to local supply the things. And of course, I will set you down for a second there, big guy. You are local supplying, but you're probably not demanding. And we'll run over here for a second. And yeah, we now need you to demand these green people eaters so as we can start getting these in. And then, of course, everybody starts firing up the Star Trek city dwellers. You gotta like the warp drives. They're all firing up now, that's for sure. And that's fine. That's what we want. We get those up and running there. Now, of course, this will now get them made, and then we will go over here. In this case, we already have the quantum chips stored up. And, of course, now with this building up, we are going to turn that on shortly. But before we do that, we should try and do something with warpers. Now, using these as warpers is very inefficient, whereas getting warpers from green science is way more efficient. But that being said, we need warpers. So what we want to do is we can probably design just something right here as a little side build while this is kind of warming up. to do both. Either, you know, get warpers one way or another is kind of a deal, right? Let's see. Yeah, right about here somewhere, I think, is going to be fine. Put some sort of tower right there, I would think. If we put a tower out here, it's a little blank out here at the moment. We should be able to squeeze a tower in. And basically, what we want here is we kind of want a strip to make these warpers one way or another, right? So it's like this way, or it's this way. Now, the ones on top will make warpers, but they'll make them with the green cubes. And the bottom ones will make warpers, but they'll make warpers the standard way. Okay? And then what we'll do is we'll just do, I don't know, not too many of these. I would think like probably no more. Ooh, looks like we have a slight power issue. We'll have to look at that in a second. Probably no more than, oh, well, it's pretty close, I guess. I guess the power is like right on the border edge. That's fine. So that's how we're going to handle this. This way, we don't get warpers being taken around to too many different locations. We'll just do it that way. Now, I don't know if I'll keep this up here or not, because of course these warpers then have to go down to the tower, which then have to do distribution. We'll do it this way for the moment, though. We'll do it this way for the moment, and we'll put in a small tower here, like so. And we'll have one coming out this side. In fact, you know what? Let's set up the tower here first. We'll have green cubes, but we'll only have 100 green cubes for this, as well as these. But again, we'll only do 100 of these. And then again, when it comes to warpers, we're only going to store about 100 here at a time, and then let them deal with that. So we'll demand green cubes. Actually, we won't demand any green cubes at the moment. We'll demand 100 of those just to kind of get some warpers underway. We'll do it that way. So you're going to be the Advil pills coming in this way. And you can go in there. And you're going to be the green cube side of things and coming out here. So this is just kind of like a 2-for-1 little mini setup where, you know, you can it can make warpers either way and put them into the same tower, and you know, just saves us a little bit of time doing that. Look at that! I did forget to put the inserters in though. Max, you're sleeping a little bit this morning on that one, big guy. There you go. And then we'll stick you out here. All right, and I guess we'll do this on the opposite side. Now look, don't be fussy. This is a very short line. You don't have to get all cranky with the line segment things or anything like that. You can just get up in there. There you go. There you go. You know you can do it. All right, there. See? And we get a few warpers coming in there. And again, we're not going to be making too many of these warpers. We're just going to make a few warpers. Yeah, should be pretty straightforward. How long does it take to make warpers anyway? All right, there we go. So with that, let us now actually get ready to turn on the things, because it looks like warpers are warming up. How many do we got in here so far? Well, we got about 400. Well, that's all right. Well, let's get this thing turned on, get this show on the road, and I'll bring it back once we gotta kind of get it filled up anyway. Because we're just going to store these up for now. So with that, let's get the request for demand, and we'll get them flying over here and start to get some green ones made up. Poof. That's right. Start dropping off the things and start lighting up all the lights, because we now have green science. Oh, yeah. Of course, we'll take a quick look here before we do the cutaway. Of course, there's all kinds of things to do with green science. Of course, one of the things we'll want to do is start expanding out the stress system on the Dyson Sphere so we can actually make full Dyson Spheres. Of course, we'll want to be working our way towards towards antimatter and the suns, because obviously we will want to be able to start collecting that power and start distributing it amongst the other worlds. And when it comes to the upgrade side of things, of course, we're going to want to be pushing all these upgrades, especially down here when it comes to vein utilization, because again, we are going to be hurting fairly tight with a lot of our world. In fact, we are out of like just about everything on this one for sure. In fact, if we go out here for a second and have a look at supplies, yeah, we are out of iron ore. We are down to the last patch of copper. It is working on that. Obviously, the only thing left here is stone, because we are even working on the last piles of coal now. So everything coming into the planet now is coming in almost imported. So we will probably run out of this, like I said, we'll run out of this this copper here shortly, and then we'll have to be importing all the things, and we only have 2 systems that are actually somewhat decent for materials. So that, of course, is the other important thing that we have to keep in mind of. Yes, we do have 2 systems that have somewhat decent amounts. But the rest of the other 10 systems, including my own, aren't very good, right? I mean, there really isn't a whole lot in any of the other systems. So, you know, you're only talking like a couple of million of, like, you know, a couple million iron and a couple million copper in each of these systems. So we will definitely be working hard towards that as we get to move on. Now, in this case, I'm going to let that green science build up a little bit, and then I'll bring it back and we'll switch it on. And of course, then we'll get to see it take that up into here and get our green science underway. So I will see you shortly. So with all the green cubes and the things now being done in the tower. Whoa, what are you doing? No. We don't want you to do anything like that. Yeah, look at that. We got lots of cubes ready to go. I even have the first research selected, and that, of course, is going to be Mecha Core 5. And that's because you need Mecha Core 5 to kind of get the other pieces for longevity, and of course we want that so as we can go zooming around our small universe and the other planetary systems, so as we can start building out all the things for the Mega Dyson Spheres. Now, in this case, you may have noticed I've also had been building our next fuel source, which of course is the Deuteron fuel. Yes, and I now have that fuel in the goes. I've just been letting the rest of this hydrogen burn up, and I got 9 of them left, and we're going to stick those in. But before we actually turn on the green science, the other thing we have is, and we'll zip this up a little bit, zip over here, is to turn on generators. Oh yes, this is a thing. And of course, what we want to do here is we want to be able to turn these on and then fire them up so as we're not going to be running short on power, because of course as soon as we turn this on, this number is going to dip even worse than it already is. And we'll want to make sure we take care of that. So we're going to stick on 20 for now. I have another line of 20 ready to go, and then I of course can always make more generators and stick them on as we need them. So with that, let's fire these up. Oh yes, let's see what kind of power we got now. Yeah, I jumped that up there from 5 to 700 really fast in a single line. That will take care of a little bit of our power needs for now. Hopefully these burn nice and slow and easy, so of course we can get actual stuff things done. Now, let's fire up the green science and then do a planetary tour of all the things going on, and then talk about what's going to be happening out there for sure. So, green science, that must be you. You look like you're looking for somebody here. I'll bet. And so we will make the green science be demanded here, and now we have to go tell it to be supplied down there. Luckily, it's right here. It's not very far away. No, that's not you. We need this tower over here. We are now going to supply the green science to the things, and they are going. Wow, look at them go! They are supplying the green science, and there it goes. Now, what's going to happen is obviously we will want to convert half of these into what I would call white science. So what we'll do is we'll convert this to white science, and then this would still be a lab, and then we will just direct feed these across. I'm hoping, anyway. That's kind of my inner working plan at the moment, as we now get to have a look at the green science working from above, and we should now be able to do this as a nice zoom out. Oh yes, that's what we're looking for. How are we doing on that, by the way? 9 minutes. Wow, really? I wouldn't think it would take that long. I would think that would be a lot faster. Well, you know what? We will hit the fast forward button, because I'm thinking that, that's taking way longer than I expected. Now, again, it's only 800 cubes. I wouldn't think it would be that slow, but, it has been a while since I've done green science, so, it could be a thing, I guess. So let's now actually, while we're out in this view, have a look at the planet itself and everything it is doing. So here, of course, is the start of our whole adventure. Right here in this strip, of course, is the beginner smelter with the beginner's mall, which is now kind of upgraded to a more advanced mall. Of course, in there we have the oil, the mini oil, and the mini refineries set up. And of course, that produces all of our extra things, such as warpers and the hydrogen fuel that we were using. Of course, we have the titanium, and it produced all the circuitry that we were using. And of course, titanium alloys and all that. And this allowed us to basically do all the basic sciences for the first 4 anyway, to get us up and running. Then, of course, we moved on. Woo. Stop doing that. There we go. Then, of course, we moved on to the actual building of the buildings. And, of course, we did our basic resources first, which, of course, is our iron, copper, titanium, silicon, and, of course, our glass up here. And, of course, that allowed us to then do the thing. No. It's kind of weird how things move around here. Do it this way. And then, of course, that allowed us to then get set back up doing the 200 a minute of red, blue, and the yellow sciences. And then, of course, to get into the purple sciences in a more robust method, because the red science was kind of borrowing our hydrogen from over there in our temporary setup. To get into the purple science and to fulfill the needs of the red science, of course, we've then moved on to the next set of builds, which of course are a lot of the chem factory build types, and of course our mega setup of refineries to handle the needs of everything from the hydrogen and graphite and just your standard light crude oil. And then, of course, down here we got our chem factories making all the extra bits to handle all the extra or the extra purple sciences. And then up here towards this area, it'd be really nice if you guys were just to kind of level out for me for a minute. Do this. There we go. And then up in this area, of course, is where the expansion for green science really takes place. Up here, of course, we have into our circuits, which gets into quantum circuits, or blue chips, basically. Deuterium conversion, of course, because we like our casinos. We love our casinos. And then, of course, this is also where we're setting up our latest fuel and our warper technology. And, of course, now that is being delivered around and getting taken care of. Now, with that, how we doing on this? There we go. That's right. Gotta like it. 50 seconds to go. And then we're going to convert over and actually have some really cool fuel to handle with, right? Because I would expect I've used up all the fuel of all the things. Put this down here for a second. So, we will now have this come up. And there shouldn't really be any delays. I mean, and we have more than enough science to cover this, so. Boom, Mecha Core 5. And now it's going to actually start on expanding energy circuits, which of course is then going to take us into infinite energy circuits. But this is the highest you can go without using the white science. So I'm going to let this go here. With that, just a second. Okay, that was a bit of a cutaway there just to turn off that silly phone alarm. With that, now, of course, with the actual energy circuits now being researched, let's now slap in our new fuel. Let's see how that goes. Boom, 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 boom. So hopefully now this will actually juice them up fairly decently to fly between the systems and be able to do things. What are the goals next? Next goals are, first, the system here itself is time to actually... Now, yes, on a temporary basis, we do have gas coming from there, of course. And we do have stuff coming from these two planets, which, of course, is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong, there's nothing wrong with that. But we want to set these up in a more permanent stasis. The Maximus system should be able to take care of itself and keep handling its 200 science for the foreseeable future. And of course, if you have a look at the Maximus system, the system itself actually has, it's probably one of the 3 best systems in our current 12 colonies. It does have 11 million iron ore and 15 copper. It's just not on Planet Max. It is between the other systems. So in this particular case, we will want to make sure that I set up these other planets with proper hubs and mine all the things so as Planet Max can keep pumping out that science for the foreseeable future. So that is on the cards next. Then we are going to want to actually do an initial look at the blue giants. So we'll just zip over here for a second. And we're going to actually do a little bit of a look here on the lava planet, see what it is we've got to deal with. Lava planets aren't as good as volcanic planets because, of course, volcanic planets would have had acid on them already, which is kind of a bummer. We're not going to get that. We're not going to get that kind of privilege. So without this being a volcanic planet, we're going to, once again, it puts us a little bit behind the 8 ball, working on limited resources and all that stuff. We're going to have to probably flatten the planet out. Maybe we'll turn it into a Death Star planet, because I haven't done one of those yet. I haven't, as much as all the flattening and stuff I do, I usually just do the au naturel look to them. But maybe this time we'll actually do a Death Star planet to get ready to do the blue giant with. Of course, that takes a lot of stuff, so we'll see how that goes. Then, of course, we're going to need to set up our major resources, and of course our first resources being the primary ones, of iron, copper, titanium, and silicon. Now, we know that there's 2 systems. We know 2 systems are really, really good for that. One of them is this one, and we know there's a lot of material here. It doesn't have any extra stuff, but what it does have is a lot of the primary stuff, right? And the other one actually goes in the other direction, and that's perfectly fine. But we're going to want to get these set up to begin the buildings of, having lots of rockets. And I'm shooting for about 10,000 solar sails a minute, somewhere around there. Again, yes, you can go watch YouTubers, making 100,000 solar sails a minute and stuff like that. But that doesn't really accomplish anything except just having a lot more machines. The end result is still the same. You're going to launch a bunch of these at once, right? So you're going to make these so many a minute, probably stash them up, and then transfer it all to a planet. Yep, to a planet to shoot at a star, right? So we're going to still go for the 200 rockets a minute. And I'm thinking now about 10,000 solar sails a minute. So as we can come in each time, and we'll set up the Blue Giant. We'll get it up and running, which will then provide the power and necessity back to everybody else. With that, I'm Max. Let's get out of this look for a second. Where are you, Max? You are flying, dude. You are flying away. Yeah, I know. You know what? Let's head off to the let's head off to the Blue Giant for a wrap up. Just to have a look at that and see what's going on. Yep, we'll do that. Do this. Do that, and then we'll test out our new fuel here. See how it goes. Yep, I don't need the cute little symbol anymore. Let's rock and roll with that. And away we go. So I'm hoping with our brand new fuel here, the drain will be less of a concern. Plus the extra research we did, put it on that little extra boost. Will hopefully now, when we arrive in systems, will not leave us like almost drained. We can actually like go do something. So, like for example, we should be able to get to this planet, no problem now, right? Should be a walk in the park and have lots of power to spare. And boom, look at that. And we still got over half the power to spare, which is exactly what we want. Okay, you know what? You do orbit of that, and we will have a look around here for a second while you orbit that. And of course, there is our Blue Giant in the background. Of course, we'll want to be looking at that and getting something done with it shortly. I'm Max. This, of course, is the Dyson Sphere, the 12 colonies. There are only 12 of them. About 33 planets, give or take a few. And not a lot of stuff kicking around. Surprisingly enough, this planet here actually is one of the few systems that actually has a fair amount of stuff. And we're going to see what we can do with it. And I will see you on the next one. Take care.